Hello everyone, this video is about angles in parallel and intersecting lines. So, you may well already know some of these rules, but let's just go through them anyway. If you look at the picture in front of you, we see two sets of opposite angles, and they are always equal to each other. So those green angles are equal, and the yellow angles are equal as well. Now let's look at some parallel lines, and parallel lines are denoted by those arrows. So alternate angles are equal. Often they're thought of as a Z angle, but try to move away from that. Think of them as alternate angles, and then you're going to remember it. So they're going to be equal. We also have corresponding angles. Now if we think about this situation going on here, let's just try that again. Well, that is exactly the same as the situation that is going on here. So it makes sense that the angles shaded green are going to be exactly the same as each other. Right, so let's look at some further examples. In this diagram it says that A is 150. So let's put that on, 150 degrees here. So let's see if we can use that to work out some of the angles that are missing. Well, A and C are on that straight line, so that means they must add up to 180. So that means that C has to be 30 degrees, and because C is 30 degrees and it's opposite B, then that means that B is also going to be 30 degrees as well. If we now compare that to the situation that's happening directly above it, we can see that A is exactly the same really as D. So that means that D is going to be 150 degrees, and for the same reason, E is going to be 30 degrees. In this example, it's a bit more challenging to see, but we've got parallel lines going on in this. So let's get started. Now, first of all, if we have 70 degrees here, now, if we just extended that line on a little bit, this angle here would be 70 degrees as well, which means that the angle we're looking at here must be the 110 needed to make angles on a straight line add up to 180. So I can see that C is going to be 110 degrees. And for exactly the same reason, A is going to be 110 degrees as well. If I continue that line on, we've got the same situation in the top right corner as we do in the top left corner. So that makes this angle here 70 degrees, which makes that A 110 degrees, as angles on a straight line add up to 180. So A is also 110 degrees. Now we can find B in similar fashion. Of course, if this is 70, then of course B is going to be 70 as well. So that's one way of finding it out. We also know angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360, so we could take AC and that 70 away from 360 and find B that way. Either way, B is 70 degrees. Okay, the last question is a little bit tricky. This involves some algebra as well as angles. Let's see if we can work these out. So if let's look at the first one. If we see x there, well, that also means that this value here is also x, and these two angles are on a straight line. So that means that x plus 2x must add up to 180. So 3x is equal to 180. So that means that x is 60 degrees by dividing 180 by 3. If we look at B, well, if 5x appears here, well, this must also be 5x as well. So that means, for the same reasons as the previous example, 5x and 7x must add up to 180. They're on a straight line. So 5x and 7x make 12x. So we know that 12x equals 180. Now, all we have to do now is just divide 180 by 12, and we're going to get our answer. X is equal to 15. The final question is almost identical again. we've got this being 5x here, and the same situation is happening right here as well. So that makes a 5x and a 4x adding up to 180. So that's 9x equals 180. And then we just have to do 180 divided by 9, and that gives us that x is 20. That's all you need to do to access the exercise. Good luck.